Hey there, 5 minute video time. I wanted to continue to talk a little bit about our series on hell. So I think I owe it to you to let you know kind of where I personally land on these three different views of hell. Because I think it's helpful to kind of know, do I have any kind of a bias? Am I trying to push somebody one direction or the other? And so here's my view. To me, it's like a game. There are three views, right? So there's annihilationism, eternal suffering, and universalism. And we've already talked about a little bit about those three views, about how the Christian church has always held all three of those views, that those are all three Christian views that have been there from the beginning. And to me, it's like a game of rock, paper, scissors. Think of it like that. So if you compare rock to paper, paper wins. But if you compare rock to scissors, rock wins. And if you compare paper to rock, paper wins. That to me is very similar to, I think, the three views of hell. For example, if you compare eternal suffering to universalism, universalism wins. Simply on the strength of how much evidence there is for one or the other. There's way more evidence for universalism as compared to eternal suffering. If I compare annihilationism to eternal suffering, annihilationism wins because annihilationism, again, has way more evidence for it than eternal suffering. Where I personally land is that when you compare annihilationism to universalism, I'm not sure who wins. And I'm being honest, I really don't know. I lean at this point, I'm leaning much more to the annihilationist view. However, there are plenty of universalist verses that I don't really know how to answer if from an annihilationist perspective. So in other words, if I hold to annihilationism, then how do I explain or justify some of these universalist scriptures that seem to suggest the possibility that maybe not, that maybe after this period of suffering, God will extend, yet again, mercy. And so I'm left of a place of, well, I can maybe put a percentage on it, but I can't decisively say this. I can't. Others do. Some people feel very, very, very firm in their position and feel like there is no question and there is no doubt and it's a done deal. And I get that. I don't. And I understand that would frustrate people on both sides. Keith, how do you not believe this? How can you ignore this? What about that? Well, at least this point in my life, in my journey, I haven't landed on one or the other. And in some ways, I think that's okay. I don't feel like I need to have that question just completely wrapped up before I can live my life or follow Jesus or share the gospel of the kingdom or anything like that. I think I can say the same thing Jesus would say about judgment, which is avoid it. It's not going to be pleasant. You know, if you end up in a place of receiving judgment from God in hell, you are going to wish you hadn't. You're going to say, gosh, if I could have cut off my hand or plucked out my eye to avoid this, I would have done it. So I don't think in other words, it's not like it's going to be better or worse for you if one view or the other view is true. I think it's going to be bad no matter what. And again, I do feel like I can reject the eternal suffering view. I think that view just isn't there. I don't think it really has a lot of evidence. I don't think it has a lot of support. I think a lot of the verses that people that believe in eternal suffering point to are not even talking about hell. it's talking about something completely different. But anyway, I felt like it was important for me to say that and state that, just to clarify a little better. We will do one more video at least, where I will go through the annihilationist view and some of the reasoning why people believe the the universalist view. And we'll talk about that. But again, thank you for listening. I really do appreciate your support of these videos, and we'll talk again. God bless. Bye-bye.